After a 2-year self-imposed exile, he returns to a land full of fire and destruction and a game that was cancelled and not released. What am I doing here? Hello, my friends, and welcome in. It's good to see you. It's been right about 2 years since I last posted a video to this channel. But I'm back, and I've got a lot to catch you up on. So, first off, why am I back and what can you expect? I'll get to that at the end, but the long story short is, I'm back to making content. So, make sure you stay tuned and subscribe, although I think you're probably seeing this if you're subscribed. 2025 has been a kick in the teeth, to put it as mildly as I could. So let me walk you through what's been going on in my life and why I'm back. In February of this year, my 89-year-old father took a fall at home. He was hospitalized, and he never left. A week after my father passed, in the midst of helping my mom, who was married to him for 44 years. So I'm helping her with arrangements and financial stuff and grief and support, because I'm an only child, so there's essentially just me. So a week after he passed, in the midst of all that, I was notified that myself and 10% of the company I work for would be laid off. A week after that, I was laid off. That weekend, we kind of had my dad's celebration of life party. Good old Irish party with a lot of beer. You know, that type of thing. And then the following week, probably because of someone at the party, I came down with the cough. And then 5 days later, when I was starting to feel better, my wife also came down with the cough. That has been 2025 in a nutshell for me. So as hard as that's been, and it's probably been the worst 3 months of my life. That's putting it mildly. So not the grief thing, but the job thing has kind of been a little bit of a blessing in disguise. My friends, I've been working for 19 years straight. Like, the only time I've taken off is for, vacations or being sick and stuff like that. Or I think the longest I was between jobs was like 3 weeks. So I've never experienced long-term not working, not knowing what's next. I understand. Just saying I've not experienced that in 19 years means I'm incredibly blessed. So I'm not trying, it's not humble brag time. But as someone that's not used to it, it's been hard. But the silver lining was, I was extremely stressed at work. This was not the first reduction in force my company had. They had one in November. I was actually in Spain, about to take 4 days or to take the next week off to travel home. Actually, we went to Madrid. We had a whole time. It was great. It was like I'm about to take my last week of vacation before we came home. And I was informed of the first impact, and it heavily impacted my team. So all that to say, it was extremely challenging. And this has kind of been, I was considering maybe I should go find something else. Maybe I should take a break. My wife and I have been very strategic with how we've saved our money for a very long time. Pretty much our entire marriage. And at some point you go, well, isn't that why you're saving all this money? So the fact that I was impacted by a reduction in force meant that not only it wasn't like I was leaving on my own, and there was something that came along with that, which I can't talk about, but it has given me the break that I think I was looking for and cushioned it, I guess you could say. Of course, I want to say that it does dim in comparison to losing your dad. And obviously dealing with your own grief, dealing with your kids' grief, and supporting your mom through her grief as best as you can. But again, in a way, the American employment system, my dear tax-paying social safety net friends in Europe and elsewhere, if someone in your family dies, the average bereavement policy in the US is, I think, like 4 days or a week. It's not like a month. It's not like, hey, someone very important to you just died. You're not going to be okay for a long time. It's like, hey, take your time. You better plan whatever kind of arrangement you need to plan very quick and get back to work. I'll try to stay off that soapbox. So this has given me the time to support my mom as best as I can through her grief, in comparison to what I was expecting. Like, I was sitting there. Obviously, I had PTO I could use. Like, I had time up that I could save up, had saved up that I could use. But, like, you're always thinking, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And, like, it's like you're never in both worlds completely. You're just stressed because of the situation. Well, part of that stress disappeared. So it's a blessing in disguise. But that's enough about that. What am I going to do now? Well, that's a great question. My wife and I have gone back and forth on that. Life is a bit like a pendulum sometimes, where at least I think I see this in all aspects of life. You could call it politics, you could call it anything. It's like the pendulum goes too far and there's a wild reaction the other way. So, like, we've gone, what if we just sold everything? What if we just sold everything, stuck it in the bank, earned some interest, and lived off of that for a year, and just went and tried something? And there's about 6 seconds later, your brain goes, what are you doing? You've been working for 19 years. You need to go get a job as soon as possible, even though we've got some money saved up. And everything in between. Where we're at right now, with me releasing this video, we're going to make a go of it. We're going to make a legitimate attempt at not just this channel, but starting several online businesses. I clearly have experience with YouTube. And so the fastest way, if you're like, oh gosh, I need to do something, the fastest thing to do is to go back to the thing that you were already doing that you took a break from 2 years ago. Of course, the timing of that, with the content this channel typically generated back then, is a little interesting because Football Manager 25 didn't come out. But we'll talk about that in a future video. The good news is the U.S. men's national team is a dumpster fire, so we got content there. So, all that to say, we could not survive, like, long term, just like, let's make a couple bucks here and there. But we can survive long enough to, if I put in the effort, and she starts putting in some effort, and we kind of balance because we homeschool our kids, for those of you that don't know, if we balance that out a little bit. If I put in as much effort as I was putting into my work, and she starts putting in some effort, I have to believe we see some sort of success. And that's what we're banking on. That's what we're going to take a run at. The idea of location-independent work is extremely appealing to me. I guess I kind of realized after all of this that someone else requiring you to have an 8 a.m. meeting that you don't want to have is not fun. And, like, it's just something that for the last 19 years of my life, you just get used to it. But I haven't had that for, like, 6 weeks now, which isn't very long, but it's nice. I have taken a break, clearly. I've gotten back into cycling. I have my little, I've got my little journal here. It's actually not little, it's actually what is this, 8.5 by 11? You know, it's a giant journal. Been journaling, taking lots of notes, and you know, tracking my my like daily habits, and like not like a bullet journal format, but I'm recording this video. It's April 14th. In the 14 days of April, I have exercised on all but 3 of them, and those 3 were intentional rest days. Or I had to mow my grass, which I don't count as exercise, but it is exercise. It's just not like cycling for 30 kilometers. Anyway, my health has actually improved in the last 6 weeks. I'm sure you could tell, since it's been 2 years since you've seen my face on a video. There's probably a little bit more gray action going on here. But the idea that I could be in control of my future is terrifying and exciting at the same time. So that's why I'm back. So what can you expect in the next little bit? Because, again, FM25 didn't show up. I'm going to do some content. I've got a journeyman save. At least it's starting as a journeyman save. I think it's going to end up being a journeyman save. I've got a journeyman save. And I wanted to do that to just try and get back into it. Start out with, I think I started with like a national A, because I find the true journeyman with no coaching badges to be just absolutely not fun. But I got a journeyman save going. I've already done 2 seasons of that. Like, I've played it. So I just need to record that. I'm curious of your thoughts of this. I'm probably going to record it as like season reviews, where we talk through the story of the season rather than, and here's the next 3 games, and here's the next 3 games, and here's the next 3 games in video. Kind of looking at a bit of a longer form version of a season. But I also want to talk about FM25 and what a disaster that was. And then as we get closer, FM26 and the U.S. soccer stuff that's going on. So I've got a list of video ideas I'm going to get back into, but I want to hear from you what you want to see. I thank you. If you have stayed subscribed, thanks. Thanks for showing. Thanks for showing up on this video. That's what my brain was saying, but it didn't say the other word. I'm going to remember to insert this in at some point in the video. I'm also curious, is live streaming still a thing in 2025, especially for Football Manager content when there's no new game? Because I have considered that, to where if I could have a consistent schedule, I've got loads of time now, whereas in the past I was kind of recording Football Manager content like between the hours of 9 and midnight, right? And then doing it in between trying to work, which is why I had to step away. So, is that still a thing? Would you be interested? And what do you like to see? Is it different between recorded video content and live stream content? I have a feeling it's different, but I don't know that myself. So please leave a comment and let me know what you like from those 2 different formats. That's where we're at right now. It's funny. I'm wearing this shirt, Seek Discomfort, which is a clothing brand by Yes Theory, which is a incredibly popular YouTube channel. And on the back, I don't know if you can see this. Oh boy. That's not worth it. Bad idea. Should cut that out. Is like the only way is through, or something like that. And so that's what we're doing. We're going through. We're going to lean into this and see how it goes. I am looking forward to, we have a not in our neighborhood, but nearby. It's like a neighborhood pool membership. I'm looking forward to just getting to spend the summer whenever my kids want to go to the pool and get to see them. I guess that's the other part that I'll leave you with before we sign off here, is one of the things that's helping drive this for both my wife and myself, so it's not just me, I'm not going rogue, folks, is the idea my kids aren't going to be around forever. I missed a lot over 3 years. I missed a lot. It's not like I wasn't around, but like, was I mentally engaged in that? Was I being the leader of my family that I needed to be? Probably not. So that's the exciting part, is it's terrifying to think, how am I going to make any kind of money to like pay our bills? But the exciting part is, if I could figure out a way to make that money, I get to be with my family. And I get to be with my kids. And I get to re-engage. I really missed interacting with comments and having people join the Discord and stuff like that. So that's what I'm excited about. I guess that's the idea, is like, in general, the advice that I've heard over the years is you shouldn't run away from something, you should run towards something. So with this decision, we're running towards something. And that's what's exciting. So, if you're new around here, somehow, subscribe. Maybe share the video with a football manager or US soccer loving friend. It's funny. I've gotten a lot of views recently, relatively, for a channel that's not had a video out for 2 years, on like the US soccer stuff. So clearly there's an audience going like, what is going on? So we'll get to that eventually. But thanks for being here. Hit the like button, I guess, to like maybe show YouTube that we're back. We're back, baby! And I hope to have, probably in the next week or so, because I want to spend my time relearning how to edit. I don't have Adobe, but I used to use Adobe, whatever it's called, Creative Cloud. So I've got to learn a new editing software. So I'm going to learn DaVinci Resolve, which is like a free thing with lots of paid add-ons. So we're going to see how we can make it look from an editing standpoint with like a free version of software, because we're trying to keep those costs low at my household right now. So that's what's going on. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.